Hey guys, welcome back to the Dialed In Podcast. This is the low equity edition. We are joined by Collin and Daniel today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, I am Mike Jackson. I live in Austin, Texas. What I'm looking to do, by the way, this is a new thing for me to tell you at the front of it. Figured I'd take advantage of the time. I am looking to buy SubTo deals all across the state of Texas. I'm also looking for fix and flip deals in Dallas and Austin. So if you have anything, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, which is at Mike Jackson SubTo, or you can email me directly at mike.jackson@revitalize.com, re-vitalized.com. Daniel, since you are new to this session, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you located? How can people work with you if they want to?
So I'm in Central Florida by way of Wichita, Kansas. I've now been here about a year. It's gone by incredibly quick. Still trying to get stuff figured out and figure out where I'm driving every day. But so I was a residential agent for about 7 or 8 years back in Wichita, Kansas, and then followed up by about 3 years of commercial before I moved down here to Florida. And now full time I'm doing wholesale and partnering with people in acquisitions, trying to do a lot more multifamily, mobile home parks, RV parks, things like that these days. Love warehouses, self-storage, things like that. But I spend a lot of my day calling on single family homes here in Central Florida and a little bit back in Wichita, Kansas as well. So you guys can hit me up at Touchatt Daniel. I know it says Touchatt, but it's Touchatt. At Touchatt Daniel on Instagram. We also do a lot of private money stuff. So if you have a project that needs money, get in touch. And if I can't do it, I know somebody who probably can.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming, Daniel. Are you going to spot up, by the way?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Collin, are you?
No, unfortunately not. I will not be going. Unfortunately, it's in basically right next to my hometown this year too, in Texas, of which I don't live there. I'm in Utah right now, but no, I won't be going.
Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where are you from originally? Tell us how people can work with you and what you're working on.
Yeah, so I'm from Texas originally, but I currently live in Utah. But my main market is actually South Florida, the Miami area. I managed to get one deal done, and that was in Miami. Sold it in Miami, and I just tend to stick with what works. So since I have a buyer in Miami, I'm looking in Miami for any creative deals. But people can reach me on my phone at 801-651-7636. That's probably the best way to get hold of me. We got buyers in Florida and some in Utah. Not a lot in Utah. So I can help those deals.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for coming. As always, we are sponsored by RocketBotLeads.ai. They give us day one on market low equity leads. And the three of us today are going to be calling them. So, Collin and I, you and I were talking a little bit earlier before we pressed record, and we were talking about how we both get really nervous on phone calls, especially when we're making them in front of people.
Yeah, that's the only time I get nervous when making a phone call. When it's just me, I'm pretty calm and collected. But whenever I know there's an audience,
It's funny how the temperature goes up about 10 degrees in the room that you're calling in.
Yeah.
It always does for some reason, right?
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do is, Daniel, we're going to go alphabetically by first name. So, Daniel, you can start from the bottom and work your way up the list. Okay. Collin, work your way down the list from the top. I have my own leads here that I'll be calling, and we'll mute ourselves here when we get on a call. Let's unmute and provide each other with feedback.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Good luck.
You want us to appointment set for you later on, right?
No, these are all for you guys.
Okay, so we're not appointment setting. This is
nope, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Can we utilize you as a partner if you want?
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel, having said that, absolutely you can.
I'm totally going to use you. I don't care what you say.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine too.
Cool, because if it starts to go south, I'm going to just use you as an out.
You got to blame somebody else.
Blame it all on me if you have to.
Cool.
Smart. This is Regine. How can I help you?
Kayla?
This is Kayla.
Hey, Kayla, this is Daniel Touchatt. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm vertical, so not too bad. It sounds like you're having a good day.
I am.
Awesome. Like, I love it when I just get to call people and they're already happy, you know?
Yep.
I tell you what, I am calling to chat with you about a property on Hackmore Drive, but I'll be honest with you. A buddy of mine is like, hey, I've got to call support for our CRM. He's like, can you call these couple of properties? But I have 0 notes. So would you mind filling me in a little bit on Hackmore?
Yeah, so that one just came to the market today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is owner occupied right now, and she's just looking to sell, kind of be done with it, and then move on to her next property.
Okay, she's staying in town?
Yeah, we've already found her something else, and we do have a finance contingency, so, just trying to quickly get it sold. And
okay, so she did it a tiny bit backwards. She went out and found the house. Now she's like, crap, I got to sell my house.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I used to be a residential agent, so I know how that goes. That can puts everybody under the gun and makes life super stressful for everyone involved.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, typically I'm not going to buy properties on their first day. I'm usually the guy you call on day 120 and you're like, Daniel, we've tried to sell. It's not working. Usually it's like, hey, we're in low equity situation. If we do sell at this price, since we've reduced, we're going to bring money to the table. How can you help? That's usually when I'm a good solution. So I'm not going to beat around the bush and like give you a pitch and stuff. Like, I'm probably not your buyer on this property.
Yeah. So are you guys more so like special financing terms like that, taking over the mortgage and kind of paying them out the equity?
Well, we do that some, yes. If that's actually a solution that's going to help that seller and they are ready to go that route, then yes. And whether it's for this seller or somebody else, like I'd be happy to chat with you and do a Zoom with you anytime to just kind of go over how that actually works and how to do it safely. Because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there watching like YouTube and TikTok and things like that. And they're like, I'm going to go do SubTo. And it's like, dude, you're offering SubTo on properties that don't even have mortgage. That's not how that works.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, I just try and be a solutionary for people. And it's like, hey, call me when you have something that needs, help and needs somebody to like provide solutions, because the easy stuff hasn't worked. Everybody should sell outright, 100%. Like if she can sell it tomorrow, traditional, that's 100% what she should do.
Yeah.
But I do buy cash. If you got any good flips, I'll buy cash.
Yeah.
If you have like multifamily or mobile home parks, things like that, I look at those also. I let the property and the situation dictate how I'm going to buy it, but I will say that I love to do seller finance because the bank has basically capped us at 10 loans. So for us to go out and keep buying properties, I have to get creative on how I do it. And what's this house at? Like 200, 300,000?
Right. Yep. 295.
295. So I could go buy.
Keep your number because I have 2 like serial investors that have a lot of property that I'll be ideally listing. One of those investors, he typically has like hoarder situations. Like we just left one and it's like completely full of everything. He's just kind of wanting to wash his hands with it. So, and I know he got them for little to nothing. So I can kind of, check and see where he is as far as like pricing or what he's looking to actually profit. But I know he's definitely starting wanting to liquidate his portfolio this year. So I can definitely, send you all of his deals and see if it's something that you're interested in.
Absolutely. I have a feeling we're about to be best friends.
Yeah. So
I love looking at portfolios as well. And a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times we actually become a pretty good solution for folks that have portfolios, because part of their consideration when they go to sell is going to be capital gains. And so unless they know exactly what they're going to 1031 properties into, 1031 isn't always actually a great solution. And you don't make additional money with interest like you would in seller finance. With seller finance, let's just say the portfolio is $1 million. With seller finance at, 3% over 10 years, you're going to make an extra $300,000. And you're going to minimize your tax implications because it's spread out over those 10 years. So when people actually kind of do the math, they're like, wait, I can minimize my taxes and still make more money. Yeah, I want to talk to somebody about seller finance. The trick is finding somebody with the infrastructure and the ability to make those payments on time. And they've been in the game long enough that you're not going to have to worry about them missing a payment.
Yeah, see, I know the one family, they have like 40 properties, and they were wanting to liquidate their whole portfolio at $8 million.
Nice.
And they did do seller financing before, and they had put a bad taste in their mouth.
Sure. Yep.
So, it's like some people kind of ruin it, so he's like, he's either just going to sell about 2 to 3 a year, or either, wait for somebody to buy everything.
100%. Yeah. And and in that case, it's the only thing that's going to convince them is if they're talking to a capable buyer that knows what the heck they're doing. I've actually, one of my other partners and I are talking to a commercial broker in South Carolina about a $22 million multifamily acquisition that we're trying to get involved with. So I'm not like trying to brag, but I'm trying to, also give a little bit of credibility that we actually know what we're doing. So if they'd be willing to talk, that's all we really care about, honestly, is having a talk and having a conversation. Because whether or not we can do a deal is, it's going to work itself out within the conversation. They're going to feel comfortable with us and say, you know what, these guys seem legit. Let's talk. And then we're probably going to talk 2 or 3 or 4 more times.
Right.
So, as long as we can get on the phone, we'll be good.
Sounds good. Well, let me reach out to them to see if they're comfortable with me sharing their information.
Sure.
And then I will definitely lock your number in too, and just kind of, keep you posted on what they say. And as far as any other deals that I have coming up, I'll definitely send them over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do like pre-foreclosure stuff too, and like low equity stuff. If you get sellers that are like, they bought 2 years ago and they're stuck and they gotta move across the country for a job, and they're like, what do I do if I sell my house? I'm gonna owe $5,000. Like, how do I get out of this? Like, we can help out with that. We'll pay your commission and we'll pay their closing cost as well. So we have a lot of tools in our bag that we can use to, make sure that they get out of that house without owing anything.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good.
Nope.
All right.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, I knew when you picked up the phone we were going to have a good conversation. I was like, this girl's happy. I can't wait to talk to her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, I'm going to shoot you my contact card right now, and then we'll chat soon.
Okay. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Kayla.
Bye-bye.
Bye. She was awesome.
She was awesome.
I was so lucky with that one. Like,
no, I don't think it's luck. By the way, Collin, you're muted. I want to hear what you thought about Daniel's call.
Yeah, you're setting the bar high, man, with your real estate professionalism over here. That was a great call.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely made my mind go blank for my next call.
I don't know if my hands were like visibly shaking, but I was actually legit like nervous on that call. I haven't felt that in a while.
You did really good.
It's like sparring for the first time in a couple of months. You haven't been in there a minute. You're like, dude, am I going to get rocked? Like, I was so happy when she's like, hi, how's it going? And I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. During your call, I actually had the guy that I called. He called me back and he left a voicemail. I've never had an agent leave me a voicemail ever.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna
Let's get him on the phone.
Oh, and he texted me just now. That's crazy. I've never had an agent.
Collin, before you call, let me compliment Daniel really fast on this call.
Absolutely.
Daniel, I love how upfront you are. I think that there's too many people out there who are making these kinds of calls who beat around the bush, who will pretend like they actually care about the property, that they even sometimes care about the sellers. Whereas you're like, look, we probably shouldn't even be talking right now, but I just want to give you a call just in case you need me 3 months from now or 4 months from now. And you added a ton of value to her business just by communicating to her exactly what it is that you do. So I love that. There's no sense in wasting people's time by saying, no, tell me about the roof. Tell me about the AC. Those things don't matter. What really matters is what we're doing to actually help the seller. And you led with that value. So great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I heard she was driving. So I was like, I better get in there and just like cut to the chase. Because she's clearly a busy person, so I just need to get on with it.
I think you should do that anyway. I think that the way that you do it is perfect. Whatever you did on that call, it worked.
Keep doing that. Okay.
Yeah. It worked. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good call. Definitely I don't know what I'm going to say this time.
Collin, give that guy a call back. Let's see if we can get him on the phone.
All right. Can you all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Jake Wright with Keller Williams Broadmoor, the R&R Group. I'm not available to get to the phone right now, but if you leave your name and your number, I'll get back to you just as quick as I can.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, hey, Jake, this is Collin. It looks like we're playing a good game of phone tag right now. I guess you'll give me a call back once you get this message. I'd like to talk to you about the property you have listed at 6862 Galpin Drive. Yeah, I'd love to chat with you about it. Thanks.
All right, let's keep this momentum up and get other people on the phone.
Okay.
I'm going to text Kayla here, so I'm going to be distracted for a minute.
And I feel like he's going to call me right when I get this next person on the...
That's 100% going to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Hannah, this is Mike Jackson. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm calling about your brand new listing, the one on Bitter Melon. I love that name, by the way. How cool is that?
I'm torn on it. I'm like, I don't know if I could live on Bitter Melon, but it's easy to remember.
Well, yeah, exactly. So my full name is Michael Jackson, which I hate, by the way. But if I tell you that my name is Michael Jackson, you're probably going to remember it, which is probably the same for Bitter Melon. So
yeah, there you go.
Even though it's divisive, I think it works in your favor.
That's good.
Okay, so I saw this was posted yesterday, right? You listed this yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay, cool. I'm looking for, well, let me kind of back up here a second. What I do is I buy properties and I'll typically resell them to people who are struggling to qualify traditionally. Okay. And basically what we're just trying to do is kind of give back to the people who, for whatever reason, can't qualify. Typically they're business owners or in the construction business, kind of cash businesses, things like that.
Right.
And so I saw this one. I thought this might be a decent opportunity for what we do. So I just want to give you a call and learn a little bit more about it and see what the activity's been like so far.
Okay. We've had a decent amount of interest. Nothing, I don't have any offers yet, obviously. But yeah, he's not really in a position where he has to sell. He's just getting married and they're bought a place together. So they already bought it. But he doesn't have, I'm just going to tell you, it's obviously always a strict number game. He just needs to walk away. He just doesn't want to walk away under what he bought it for. So he bought it for $278, and that had some closing costs rolled into that. Mm-hmm. So, after realtor fees and taxes and all that, he just wants to make sure that he's, obviously he'd like to walk away with a couple thousand in his pocket. 5,000, 10,000 would be great. But,
Got it. And is he using it as primary residence right now?
He's actually, they'll be moved out by the end of the week. So, they already purchased a different home. So.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I come across a lot of people who either just purchased a home, maybe in the past couple of years, or someone who has like a VA loan or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Consumable.
Yeah. And, so typically what happens is just because of the way the markets have been, there hasn't been that kind of appreciation, right? For people to walk away with lots of equity like there used to be.
Right. Yeah. Not within this sort of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like it's a similar situation to this one. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the way that we typically purchase, not the only way, but typically the way that we purchase, especially for lower equity types of homes like this one looks like it is
Okay.
we'll come in and we'll simply take over the mortgage and make sure that your commission's paid, make sure we pay all the closing costs to maximize their equity. Would he be open to something along those lines?
It's not assumable. His mortgage isn't.
That's fine. I'm not necessarily talking about an assumable. It's kind of similar to an assumption.
Okay.
But the advantage for us is just because what we do is we're purchasing maybe 10 to 12 or so on a monthly basis, which makes it difficult for us to go get financing every single month. And so the beauty of the way that we're purchasing is that we can come in and simply take over the loan that's already in place, just leave that there, and then the seller can go do whatever they want after that. Have you ever done something like that before?
I haven't. So would the title be in your name or his name? Like, would he get the full amount, or like, how does that work? What do you mean by take over the mortgage?
Yeah, great question. So basically it's the same as any other real estate transaction. We close with a local closing attorney, title company, and the title changes, but the mortgage just stays in place. Everything else is exactly the same as it would be for a cash sale, for example.
Okay. So he would, what do you mean the mortgage stays in place? What do you mean by that?
The mortgage just isn't paid off.
Gotcha, but it goes into your name, not under his name.
Nope. The mortgage stays actually in his name.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello?
I doubt he'd be willing to do that, honestly.
Have you guys been presented with that option yet?
No, we have not. I mean, I'll talk to him about it, but I don't think he'd be willing to do that.
Okay. What do you think his concern would be?
The mortgage being in his name, if you guys defaulted, if anything just if anything happened, he wouldn't. It's just a risk there.
Yep. I would have guessed that would have been your concern as well.
Yeah.
And it should be. Typically what happens is, I know that you said that the seller isn't in a position where he has to sell right now.
Correct.
What we typically do is we typically touch base with you now. If 30 days or 60 days, 90 days from now, whatever it is, you guys don't get the offers that you're looking for, but are willing to explore this route, we're here for you.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course. And just a heads up, Hannah, we always get this data before everyone else does. So if you've never done a transaction like this before, or if you've never had a listing like this before, in about 10 days or so, you're going to get hammered with phone calls, LOIs, offers, just sight unseen. So if you ever need anything, like run by us, if you guys want to choose to go down this route but aren't quite sure, we do these all the time. I'm happy to provide you guys with advice, whether you do business with us or not.
Very cool. I actually might have a client interested in this. Could you shoot me an email? I don't really have a ton of time to chat right now. But I do have a client that I think might be interested in it. They have a VA loan, and they're having to move because of the military. Mm-hmm. It's, I think the house is about a year old, maybe 2. In Lillington. If I give you my email, could you email me some more information so I could kind of look over it a little bit more? Yeah,
of course. I think I might have it already. Is it just hsmith@johnsonproperties.com?
No, that's my old email.
I'll take the new one then.
Hannah. Okay. Hannah. I guess I have to change that. Hannah.b, like Bravo. Hannah.b.smith@gmail. At exprealty.com.
Where are you located exactly? Are you in Chapel Hill or Raleigh or Durham?
No, I'm outside of Raleigh. How familiar are you with it? Are you in North Carolina?
I used to live in Chapel Hill. I live in Austin, Texas right now.
Okay. I'm between Raleigh and Fayetteville.
Okay.
Kind of on the Raleigh side. So I'm in Harnett County in Angier.
Got it.
Just outside of like Fuquay Arena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very, very familiar with that.
Okay. Very cool.
Okay, cool. I'll send you over my contact info. And if we can help you in any way, if you guys come across anything like what you said, the VA situation, I'm happy to help.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Hannah. Bye-bye.
Money in their pockets and get your commissions paid and all that stuff. So I'm really...
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I'll save your number. And what did you say your name was?
Yeah, it's Collin Preston.
Collin Preston. All right, Collin. Well, I will keep you in mind if I get any properties, that they're open to something creative like that. We'll go from there.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure that you understand we set up the deal to where your sellers are totally protected for the long run of the the amount of time that I have the property anyway, right? So they're totally safe in the transaction. We do it like any other real estate transaction. It goes through escrow and all that good stuff. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Collin, tell me how your call went.
Did y'all hear me?
Yep, we heard you.
Oh.
Yeah, I unmuted you.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
How'd your call go?
It didn't go that badly. It didn't go badly.
That's a positive. That's good.
Yeah, the seller wasn't open to it, obviously, and the agent said that he would save my number. That's the first time I ever had an agent say that, so I kind of believe him. I did kind of set it up differently than I would any other typical phone call that I make to an agent. So it was a little off-putting for me.
Yeah,
reselling properties to people that struggle to qualify.
Well, think of that just as a warm-up for the day. That's all that one is. Mine was the same. I felt like total shit on my call. Daniel, since you heard my call, provide me with the feedback. There are lots of things I could have done differently there and better, but I want to hear what you thought.
I actually thought you pretty much nailed it. You were able to steer her back pretty well, and it wasn't because you said anything overly clever and were like, sales pitch, and she went, oh my gosh, I want this thing. She said she just enjoyed speaking with you, and you said, hey, you're going to get a lot of these. We do a lot of these, and we can help. And she was like, actually, I have somebody that might be interested. She just absorbed the credibility, and you were matching her tonality really, really well. Even though it sounded like she was hurried, she was very mellow in her manner of speaking. And you're always a laid back guy anyway, but I just think you kind of matched her really well. And then you just said, hey, I'm here to help. And I think that was probably what did it for her. And she just wanted to throw it out there. And I think she was like, just seeing how you're going to react. And then you just like, hey, great. I would love to chat with you about it.
Roll with it.
Yep. Pretty much anything they say, I'm going to say, awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. What's so funny about that call for me was that she was adamant that this seller wouldn't be interested in doing a SubTo transaction, but she was fine with the other person doing a SubTo transaction. Mm-hmm. Now, the technicalities of the transaction, the mechanics of it don't change, right? Yep. We're still taking over a mortgage, but for some reason she was saying that this seller that I was calling about wouldn't be interested, but the other one would.
Yeah.
And the funny thing to me is that she didn't even know what this type of transaction was. So she hasn't had that conversation yet with this current seller. She was just confident that he wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And, one thing I think I could have done a lot better of a job of was saying, kind of pushing off the what happens in the case of default question. Saying something like, look, totally understand that should be every seller's concern. If you guys get to the point where you want to pursue something like that, I'm happy to explain to you how we protect the seller in that type of a transaction.
Okay. Yeah. I was kind of curious what you meant. Because if you went into explanation, I think she would have rejected it and tried to hurry off the phone. But if you presented it that way, I think, that would have been an excellent way to do it.
I think that what I learned personally is that it's easy to go into the explanation of what you do in the case of whatever, right?
Yeah.
We all know those sorts of things. But I think the way that you kind of talk around it, which is actually going to result in them coming back to you and saying, wait, hold on, how exactly do you protect the seller? Right? That's what I'm looking for at some point down the road, today or tomorrow. But if I say, great question, that's everybody's concern and it should be, I'm happy to explain to you how that works when and if you guys decide to pursue something like this, but strengthen it up at the end, right? Like kind of what you said, Collin. I want to say, I'm happy to show you how we protect a seller and their agent in this type of transaction so that you have all the information available to you to make the best decision for yourselves. Let me know when that time is. I'm here for you. I'll follow up with you just to see how the listing's going or whatever that end is, right?
I think your conversation about the other property and the other situation is going to lead her to do math in her own head and lead her back to this one.
Totally.
She will probably present it and they will say no, because they're going to have to sit on the market for 90 days before they actually get there. But she's going to do the math on her own pretty quick, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree. If they don't get offers in 30 days, then they're going to start to lower the price. And who wants to pay 2 mortgages? They've already moved out. They've bought something else. They don't want to pay 2 mortgages.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks
if you can get them to do the math for you, it's always the best way.
Yep. Time is on your side.
100%.
Right. So with this property that I called on, sorry for that echo. He said that this specific property wouldn't be open to a creative deal like that. But, I should have brought it up, but I didn't in hindsight. He's going to, be out $1,600, at least according to the data. Right?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Hey, I'm calling to chat with you about a property on Grove Parkway.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. My partner is like, hey, can you call these properties? I got to call support and figure out what's wrong with our CRM, but can you get on the phone with these folks and see what's going on with these listings?
It's coming soon.
Oh, it's a coming soon listing? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're going to list probably man, people do not know how to drive today. I think we're listing before the end of the month.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm probably going to circle back around whenever that hits the market and take another look at it. Usually when I'm talking with agents, though, it's when something's been on the market for a little bit and they're like, hey, Daniel, I've been on the market for 120 days. This isn't selling. We're kind of stuck. We've reduced prices. Still not working. What can you do for us on this property? We buy properties a bunch of different ways. So like the way in which we buy properties can be pretty diverse. Do you have anything that's been kind of on the market sitting for a minute?
Yeah, I do actually. So we actually just relisted at a massive price drop. We've had a little bit of activity, but I'm ready to get this one done.
Yeah. What is it?
And then I have another one that we just withdrew the listing because we're the seller she's older and she's just sick of showings. Okay, so one of them that's currently active is 275 Waverly Trace.
Okay.
In Roswell, Georgia. It's listed at $725. We appraised at $800.
Okay.
So it needs a little bit of updates, but all the big stuff is good. Roof, both HVAC systems, water heater, everything is 2019 or newer.
So is this the one that just did the big price drop?
Yeah.
Okay. So I
withdrew it completely and then relisted it.
Okay. Yeah. To reset the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. I used to be a residential agent too. I get it. So what's the main thing that's kept him from taking any of the other offers you guys have got so far?
The buyers hate the backyard.
Okay. Tiny?
Oh, no, it's huge, but it's just it's a mountain terrain. It's peaks and valleys. There's a little bit of a flat spot, but for the most part, it's just not a super family friendly backyard.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Have these guys already moved or are they still in the house?
Yeah, they're out. They're completely out.
Are they still in Atlanta?
Yeah. Okay,
cool. All right. Are they open to, I don't even know what their situation is. Are they carrying 2 mortgages?
Yep.
Ooh, that's
they are.
Okay.
So 725 is their bottom dollar. That's they're we can't go any lower.
Yeah.
And so I was well, let's list it at that. See, you know what I mean? What's the worst that happens, right? We don't get it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay. Is it pretty updated? I haven't even looked at the property, so.
No, you're good. Okay, so the kitchen and the half bath and the hall bath could use some updates. The primary bath has been completely gutted and redone. It's gorgeous.
Okay.
It's got Berber carpet, so the carpet could probably be replaced. We just had it cleaned. But, it's just, I mean, it's carpet, you know.
Say I went in there and did everything, finished out the remodel, granite, the whole nine. What do you think I could get out of it on the back end if I were to kind of flip it? Or do you think there's even enough room to flip it?
I would say closer to like 900, 950 for the ones that I've been seeing sell. Because the people that have like seen our house, then they go under contract for something like between 900 and $1 million. Mm-hmm. That's updated, no work to be done. But it's like 10 minutes from downtown Roswell.
Do you think I could still get the 950 even with the backyard that everybody hates?
You might have to do a little bit of grading.
Okay. Do you have somebody that could do that if I needed it?
So I actually reached out to one of my landscapers because I was like, can you do like virtual staging or something for this backyard? I haven't heard back yet, but I was like, I also wanted to get a quote on like, that way we could present the buyers with a quote on like, hey, yeah, the backyard's crappy right now, but if you put 25 grand into it, then it's Oasis because it's on over an acre.
Okay.
In the city of Roswell.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, very cool. All right. Do you think they would be open if we could get them the price that they want and they don't have to do any more price reductions and don't have to look at like paying anything at closing? You know, God forbid you guys get to that point. Would they be open to any type of seller finance structure or us just taking over the mortgage and getting some equity in their pocket?
I don't think so. They bought a house more expensive than they wanted to buy because it was like the perfect house. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, we need that money like now.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Okay. And it's usually not an option until people have like kind of hit their wall and they're like, okay, we tried to selling. Now we're at zero. Now what do we do? And, you know, if we could get in there a little bit sooner, we could actually get some equity in their pockets. But, you know, if they do get to that point, I'm happy to be a resource. And I'm sure you guys are probably getting hit up with similar offers already. Just know that we do this a lot. And so if you guys ever want to talk about it, or even if you're thinking about doing it with somebody else and you don't decide to go with us, like I'm happy to answer questions and say, hey, here's what you guys need to be aware of. And here's stuff that you should look out for. And, you know, here's how to vet your buyer and make sure that they can actually handle a transaction like this. So if they want to discuss it, we always love to have the conversation. We'll do Zoom, whatever is needed. And you guys can pelt us with questions of how it works.
What would a cash offer look like for that one?
You're at 950.
Yeah.
For the ARV.
Yeah.
Please don't hold me to this number. Hang on, I'm trying to do quick math. Oh gosh, no, I don't even want to say that number. It'd be below what they owe.
So, how far?
Well below. It would be insultingly low. I just pulled up my calculator and did the math real quick. Like, cash is not going to be an option for them.
Okay.
Like, I want to be, on that, though? I just want to be straight up honest. Like, they're going to lose a significant amount of money if they sell for cash.
Okay. Cool.
So, that's like, good to know. I want to get them money and I want to get them, like, you know, out of their situation. I don't want to cost them money, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. Well, then I have another one in Fayetteville. Do you guys go down to Fayetteville?
Sure. Is that the one where the guy was like a senior?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So that one's 170 Rocky Fork, like you eat with a fork.
Yep.
And it's red, but there was like one in the front of the neighborhood, like very first house that just sold for like 560. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? And it wasn't on an unfinished basement or anything. It was on a slab. So I don't know what is going on with that one, honestly. It needs new paint, new carpet. There's a little bit of wood rot. But it was built in 2016. So it's like all the systems are newer. She just had a complete new septic tank put in like last year, or 2 years ago now, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that one. Every buyer that we've had come in for that one, it's just like, there's something about that price point where buyers don't have the equity, or they don't have like the funds to do anything.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they need it pristine, perfect, all of that. And it's like, we're also priced 60 grand below, and we have an unfinished basement.
Yeah.
Well, so like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm at a loss with that one. That's why we just pulled it. We were just like,
so
whatever, we'll figure it out.
What's her situation? Is she still in the home, or you mentioned she was a little bit older? Is she going into like a nursing home or something?
No, they're just going to rent. She can't afford the monthly payments anymore.
Okay.
So, but she has God, what is it called? It's like where they go through and then they like change your payments to like a lower payment, but you have to like pay them to like, it's not a refi.
Like a loan modification?
But they, she did something and that goes into effect in like May. And so her biggest thing right now, she's like, I don't want to take less on this house because like this is literally all my money for like the rest of my life, blah, 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 blah. I feel like I could probably get her to take $450. Like if I had an offer in my hands.
Yeah.
But she's just like not willing to entertain a price drop that low.
Sure. Does she have equity?
So I was like, whatever, let's pull it and, you know, let it reset on everything and give you a break.
Does she have equity on the property?
She has a little bit. She doesn't have a lot though. I mean, I think she bought it for like 3 something.
Yeah.
So and like this is literally like the money she's gonna live on for like the rest of her life.
Okay. Well, depending on how much equity she has, maybe we can just pay her out her equity and then we can just take over those mortgage payments. And, you know, that way her credit won't get damaged or anything like that. It just kind of depends on her situation. There's probably 4 different ways we could alleviate her situation. And I, you know, without kind of knowing all the elements in play, I can't tell you exactly which one is going to fit for her best. Yeah. But I will tell you, there is definitely a way forward, and we could probably present to her a couple of offers and then say, hey, here's a couple of ways we could do this and protect your equity and also protect your credit. We'll also pay your commission and her closing costs as well to help with this situation. We do this a lot for like pre-foreclosures and lower no equity situations, because a lot of times they're like razor thin. They're like, if we drop it anymore, we're going to lose money. And so we understand that and we just want to protect them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we could chat with her and get a little bit more of clarity on her situation, I would love to do that. Is there a time, maybe like next week, you and I could revisit with my partner, Mike, and we could kind of get a little more clarity on this situation as to what's going on?
Yeah. Why don't we chat Tuesday? Would that work for you? Tuesday the 11th?
Yeah, that'll work. I'll shoot you my contact card after this, and then I can tell you're probably driving, but I'll shoot you my contact card.
I'm actually just pulled up to a showing, so it was like perfect timing.
Yeah. Okay, I'll shoot you my contact card, and then we'll chat a little bit more and figure out a time that works best on Tuesday the 11th, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate you. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I was like, I want to get another call in.
No, you're killing it.
Yeah, that was great. But okay,
that guy called back.
He called back, but he didn't know. I called the third guy on the list down, and his seller would be open to a subject to. I'm blown away,
dude.
He's never had that before, and they've got a fantastic interest rate on this. Sorry, that was crazy.
Yeah. That's dope, dude.
He said, yeah, she would be. Email me over all of the information. I was like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
That's fantastic. I was like...
And you thought I had an unfair first call.
No, you had a totally fair first call. That's what experience gets you, you know?
Dude.
Awesome. So, Collin.
Yeah.
Since we didn't hear your call, and Dan, I want to get to your call. Tell us, what do you think went well in your call, Collin?
The fact that it was he already had it listed for 6 months and it failed. So, I think they just want to sell this house. That's really what it boils down to. That it was already an expired listing. Sorry, that picture's driving me crazy. I'll turn this down. Can y'all hear me still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think it was really much of anything that I said. Maybe. I don't know. I think I was a little maybe warmed up after that first call, but I was stumbling through it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we can talk after about what to send that agent.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Daniel or
Sure.
Collin, how much were you able to listen to Daniel's call?
I heard the first part of it, but I didn't hear the rest.
Do me a favor, if you can recall back to that call, to Daniel's call, and then also his first call. Is there anything that pops out to you about his calling style that you think makes him effective?
Yeah, he's a boss. So yeah, it's just like confidence. You know what you're talking about. You have that. I think you have the agent kind of vibe about you. You know exactly what the in and outs are. I think that gives you a lot of credibility. And I think you hardly ever say and I'm like full of ums today. I think that's a huge difference. But I don't know if that's what you were speaking on, Mike. But
yeah, I'm catching myself. I don't want to use filler words now. Okay, so Collin's exactly right, Daniel. What you do really, really well is you get on their level as an agent, and you communicate that to them. And what's great about your calling style is the way that you ask questions. It provides you the opportunity to ask questions that a lot of people couldn't get away with. You ask questions like, are they paying 2 mortgages? If I called up an agent without building that level of rapport or credibility, there's no way in hell someone's going to want to give me that information.
Yeah.
Right. That's just one example. And you probably did it 5 or 6 times on that phone call.
Yeah, smooth.
Yep.
Super easily. Yeah.
Yep. And the way that you also ask questions, it's unapologetic. Right? Hey, they're paying 2 mortgages. As opposed to, kind of weekly and handshaking. Are they paying 2 mortgages? But if you say a matter of fact, they're going to answer as long as you've built up that credibility before.
Yeah.
I think that you killed that phone call.
Oh, thank you.
Just crushed.
Actually, that one didn't feel near as good as the first one. So
I think it was like on the same level for sure. It was actually, I was just thinking about my most recent phone call, how totally not like that it was. It was very rough. And usually I'm actually pretty confident whenever I'm talking to agents. But whenever I'm adding new things to my spiel, it kind of throws me off, and I'm way too about it. Those filler words really get me. It's something that I can't stop sometimes.
If you think about a common thread between my call today and then Daniel, your second call today, the common thread that I see is that we ended up transitioning from the subject property that we're calling about to a different one.
Yeah.
Right. And why do you think that we did that, Collin? Not even we did it, but why do you think the agent felt comfortable enough to do that with us?
Well, because it sounds like you've done it before, like that you've done what you said you do before. You have credibility, you're trustworthy.
Can you come closer, Collin? Yeah. It is a little hard to hear you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I can also turn this up too. It's just that echo is really rough. So yeah, you both have this air of what you're doing because you've done it before, right? You both come across as trustworthy. There's a confidence about you. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, Mike, but that's what I've gathered from it.
I'm curious what you think, because I think it's hard for us to look at ourselves from an outside perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love doing calls with other people, because I learn something every single time. What I've learned today is that, Daniel, you do an amazing job of providing value without expectation. It's, hey, this is what I do. If you want to call me 90 days or 120 days down the line, maybe I can help you out. That's what I'm here for. You say it a lot more eloquently than I just did, but you build up that credibility and that rapport really, really quickly, and you get on their same level to the point where both of those agents that you spoke with want to have more conversation with you about something else. Not to say that this deal is off the table by any means, right? But to some degree, they're going to test you on something else that maybe is a little less important.
Yep, 100%.
Like they see the potential to be able to utilize you as a resource in the future, so they want to, right? They want to be able to get deals done with somebody that's done it before, that knows what they're doing, that's credible, that's trustworthy. You both come across as people that you could talk to easily all the time. Both of you are very laid back, and just it's no secret that you've done it before. Whenever you're speaking to you, if that makes sense, you make it very obvious that you know what you're doing.
Well, that makes me feel good, because anytime I'm in a room with Mike and I'm like, he's so much better than me.
Not true at all, by the way. You might feel that way, but not true.
Oh, 100%.
I'm definitely being schooled today, for sure. I'm taking notes down.
Collin, you have the same air, though, I think, about you. Like you're totally mellow, kick back. I think that what you need at this point is just probably more reps to get to the point where you feel comfortable communicating whatever it is that you're trying to communicate.
Yeah, that's my main thing. Yep.
That's it. Because I would, the same way that you described, Daniel, I feel about you. Like I want to have a conversation with you. I want to communicate with you. I think that you're a great communicator. I think it's just the experience.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I need way more reps for sure.
So one thing that I like to do, like we were talking about earlier, like on Mike's call, is I like to get the agents to do the math themselves. And she's like, oh yeah, I've got this other property that's a pain in the ass. I got this one I don't know what to do with. We pulled it off the market. And I picked up on that. I was like, oh, you did that to reset the days. Like that was a realtor thing that I like to throw out there to just let them know. But what I was really doing was talking about anything else besides the subject property.
Right.
And I don't always do that, but in this instance, it's not going to be on the market for 30 days. So I have to find something else to create commonality. And then it's like, I throw darts. It's like, I throw this out, like seller finance, or I throw this out, like low equity. I throw this out, just conversationally. I'm like, sometimes we do this and blah, 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 blah. And then we'll talk about, how's the market, bblah, blah. Then I'll throw out another dart. And I'm like, sometimes people are going into senior homes and they want the monthly cash. So we do seller finance, and actually I've got this, I'm just giving them opportunities to connect the dots themselves.
Okay.
Instead of me saying, we do this, we do that. Here's my resume, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if they do the math themselves, it's so much more impactful. And what I'm really trying to do is a little bit of hey, we can do all these things if I have the opportunity in the conversation. The main thing I'm trying to do is get the agents to be like, okay, this guy knows stuff, and I don't know if we can work together now, but clearly they know a little bit, and I can call this guy when I have a problem. I tell him all the time, I still pace this line. I'm your real estate Swiss Army knife. And 3 weeks ago, this lady goes, that's hilarious. I give my clients Swiss Army knives.
Oh, well,
what are the odds? But awesome. It sticks in their brain. And, the main thing that I'm trying to do in DTA, direct to agent, is get 25 agents that believe in what we're doing, that we, maybe not now, but maybe 6 months or a year from now, we're going to have a solution that they can't figure out.
Right.
And if I get 25 agents that are on board with what we're doing, I don't have to really look for deals.
Right.
That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, and that's been my goal, because I've only ever done direct to agent, but I'm just now starting to really try to develop the relationships by doing follow-ups and all that stuff. Instead of just focusing on the one property. This one random guy that accepted it was an anomaly.
I got blessed with two nice agents that were willing to talk. Sometimes you get those people and they just can't wait to get off the phone with you. And I'll just throw a couple of darts like, hey, do you ever have any buyers that can't qualify traditionally? We obviously do seller finance, so we're always looking for buyers for these properties. No, I don't have any. Okay, great. Have a great day. Click on to the next one.
They obviously don't want to do any business.
Yeah. And I used to, early on, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world if I had a 20-minute conversation with everybody. Now I'm trying to keep it to 6 to 8 minutes max.
Yeah.
And get to another phone call later where I can talk to him for half an hour and explain the ins and outs of what we do.
Right.
But now I try and shorten it up a lot. Still have good value drops in there, but keep it shorter. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are just no matter what you say, they just don't want to talk to you. I try and get off the phone with them in under 2 minutes.
Yeah,
You're pre-qualifying them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You're just saying, look, either I think we can work together, or you say that we can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And I got told that a long time ago. Disqualify folks sooner, get off the phone faster. And I didn't totally understand. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm building rapport. I'm having a great conversation, 30 minutes. Then I only make 3 phone calls a day.
Yeah. A lot of wasted time.
Yeah.
To do that. Yeah.
And I'm my own worst enemy sometimes because I just like talking to people, especially when I get somebody like that first agent. It's like, dude, we could have had an hour and a half conversation easily.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. For sure.
Well, guys, thank you guys. We're at the top of the hour here. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me. One day you'll hear my calls.
Look, I love doing this with people who want to improve. And I learned something every single time. I hope you guys did too. So
absolutely. I learned a lot this time.
For coming.
Thank you.
Michael, thank you for doing this. This is a super cool thing that you're doing, and it provides a lot of value. And anybody that's trying to get better at calling needs to do this because you need to put pressure on yourself and do it in front of other people that can politely critique you and make your game better. And Mike is probably the best in the business at doing exactly this. So if you want to get better at what you're doing, or if you're brand new, you need to connect with Mike. Hit him up on Instagram and get in touch with him. Start learning.
1000% agree. That's totally facts.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thanks, Mike.